to Hope Chinese Charter School. My name is Julie Rickman, and I'm the principal of Hope Chinese Charter School. Why don't you join me and a couple of my colleagues to give you a tour of our school today? Come on in. Thanks for coming to our school today to see what we're all about. Since I've been here since 2012, I want to give you a little brief history of our school. And it kind of starts with this group of people, a group of parents and educators who really had started their children taking Chinese immersion preschool classes and wanted more because they wanted to make sure also that children, no matter whether they could afford it or not, could come to a public school to receive Chinese immersion and cultural language learning. So that's how we got started. And it was their dream, really, that we would become a K-8 school. Let me show you where we started. These are the first 4 years of our school, or pictures of our students. We started off with 70 students, just kindergarten and first grade that first year in 2012. And now we've grown to 330 students and K-8 by adding a class each year. We actually graduated our first 8th graders just this last year. Now that was at our first location. In 2016, we moved to this building, which provided a lot more space for us and the ability to expand completely. So we have double classes at each grade, almost, until we get to middle school. And then there's one class for each 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So as we started out, we really wanted to make sure that we followed our mission. And that is that we are educating for global fluency. And that is by providing and developing Chinese and English dual language skills, by nurturing the cultural adaptability and instilling this inspiring for excellence in all of our students so that they can really go out and have a positive impact on our world. But to learn more about that, you need to understand what it is to be a charter school. And I'm going to have my colleague introduce that.
大家好, welcome. My name is Dr. Michael Bevis, and I'm the Director of Operations here at Hope Chinese Charter. We welcome you. I'd like to tell you a little bit about public charter. If you've not heard it before, in regards to a public charter is similar to a public school, like a neighborhood school. However, it's chartered with the district, and we're chartered with Beaverton School District. With that, we get state funding, which is about 80%. However, after we're looking at all in regards to the expenses, it comes out to be about 60% of all of our expenses. And with that, the rest of that money that we need to do, in other words, to cover those expenses, we use fundraising and also giving from our parents and our community to make up those funds.
Hi, my name is Jacqueline Chang, Private Program Director. Our private programs here at HCCS are fee-based program, and all proceeds of the private programs go to support the charter school. So private programs consist of preschool, Tiny Dragons preschool, before and after school care, after school enrichment program, and summer camp. Before and after school programs is the extended 1 hours before school and 2 hours after school dismissal, in which students could get homework help, snacks, and playtime. Lastly, Tiny Dragons preschool. Let me show you our preschool classroom. Follow me. So Tiny Dragons preschool is a full Chinese immersion program for children 3 to 5 years old and fully potty trained. Our program goals align with Oregon Department of Education's early learning and kindergarten guideline. Admission to our preschool is by application on a space available basis. Preschool students are not given priority to enter the charter school. Hi, we're out here in our playground where our students enjoy every moment of it. So we have a very large grass field area up there and hardship area. And you're looking at our play equipment area that is made possible by our parent donation. On your right-hand side is a blacktop area where kindergarten and preschool students spend most of their recess.
This is one of our kindergarten classrooms, and sadly, it's pretty empty right now because of COVID-19. The students are in comprehensive distance learning, but I wanted you to see how we're trying to set up for hybrid learning when the kids can come back to the classroom. It'll just be half the size of the class on a day, and then they'll alternate days. That's only one safety measure that we're putting in place, but we're hoping they can be back soon. In our classes, we have 26 students in a class, but we also have teachers' aides in kindergarten through second grade this year. So that makes a 1 to 13 ratio, which is really helpful. But the other thing that you need to know about kindergarten through second is the division between Chinese and English time. There's about 65% of the day that children spend with their Chinese teacher, and she's responsible for teaching the Chinese language arts, math, science, and art. Then the English teacher has 35% of the day, and she's focused on English language arts, social studies, and health. Now, the Chinese language arts curriculum for kindergarten is Better Chinese, and then the rest of the elementary grades is Singapore Chinese, which fits really well for American students. They're also learning simplified characters in their reading and writing. For the math curriculum, we're using Singapore Math. Now, the textbooks are written in English, but the teachers are translating and teaching it in Mandarin. So the kids are still getting kind of both languages there. The math starts out kind of slow in kindergarten because it really focuses on developing the conceptual as well as the procedural knowledge, but it quickly ramps up. And we've been very pleased so far with how Singapore has been helping our students to learn math.
Hi again. We're in this part of the building. We're in a multi-classroom. It's used quite readily for lots of things. We also use it for our assemblies. We have our middle school PE and other PE classrooms sometimes inside when we're not able to go outside as well. And then also our school-wide community meetings. So we make very good use of all the spaces that we have. So now I want to take you into the kitchen area and talk to you a little bit about our lunch program. This is the cafeteria area, and this is where our kids come in to have their lunch. We have volunteers who come out to help serve and cut fresh vegetables. With our cafeteria program, or with our school lunch program, we contract with outside vendors who provide hot lunches for our students. And then, of course, there's a variety of meals, Chinese, Asian, of course, and American pizzas on Friday, that kind of stuff. And so with the way the parents pay, they can choose monthly to sign up for whatever days that they want for their kids to have hot lunches.
This is one of our intermediate classrooms. So in grades 3 to 5, the split between Chinese and English shifts. So it becomes a 50-50 model instead of that 65-35% of the time. Where the difference is between math and science. Both the Chinese and the English teacher teach the math and science. And the reason for that is so that they can really understand the vocabulary, because state testing comes up in third grade. So our students do take the Smarter Balanced assessments like all other public schools. They'll be tested starting in third grade for English language arts and math, and then as they get up to fifth grade, it's also science and social studies. Besides that, our students also are taking some Chinese proficiency exams as well. Our children starting in second grade take an oral proficiency, second through fourth grade. And we're really checking to see if they're getting the speaking and listening, because that's a primary focus for our language instruction here. Then as they move on to middle school, they move to a more comprehensive exam in fifth grade and eighth grade to test not only the speaking and listening, but also reading and writing. Our English curriculum consists of a workshop method using the units of study by Teachers College. And so we're using units of study in reading and in writing. where students focus and learn major units on opinion, narrative, and expository. So those are some of the main areas that they're learning all of those skills throughout. We're in one of our middle school classrooms downstairs in the building. And this happens to be the Chinese and math classroom. Um, in middle school, our students switch to a more like a middle school program where they trade and go to different classes by periods each day. So they have their Chinese language arts, English, math, science and social studies, and PE every day. They also have lockers where they store their things, although during this COVID season, we won't be using lockers when we come back to the hybrid model. The switch also between the percentage of time that they have Chinese changes again too. Now it's the reverse of what it was in the earlier grades. It's now 35% of the day in Chinese and 65% in English. So it's not just one Chinese class, they're also getting their math in Chinese. And if one of their electives are in Chinese, that's some additional time. So electives. One thing that we're not able to offer during comprehensive distance learning, but in a normal school setting, we also have elective classes. And that could be art, it might be a technology class or drama. It depends on the semester. And what's great about that is the students get to elect which electives they choose to take, and we mix the grades. By having small classes that move on each year, it's really nice to let the kids socially mix with each other. So we purposefully do that for the elective classes, and then they also have lunch and recess together so we can build new bonds of friendship across grades. Another something special about our school program is really our milestone experiences, and they start in 5th grade. Our 5th graders get to go to Suzhou, China, and match up with buddies that they started to develop a relationship with back in 3rd grade when they were sending postcards and then emailing or having a video conference with the class. And in normal circumstances, the city of Suzhou and the school that we are sister schools with send over a group of students to stay with our kids. It's a wonderful experience where they can build relationships to last a lifetime. Then our 8th graders are also planned to take a trip to China under normal circumstances. These milestones are so important because it emphasizes to the students that they're learning this language and culture for a reason, and it's just the applied learning that's so important. Talking about learning, with our state standards, we're often asked how our students measure up. And that's important for us to look at too, because we want to make sure we're doing the best for our kids. We happen to be ranked the #1 school in the state of Oregon for charter schools, and actually one of the #1 schools in Beaverton. But just as a comparison, our English language arts scores for the Smarter Balanced, we range an average of about 80% proficiency, while the overall district of Beaverton is at about 62% and 50% statewide. For math, we're over 85% for our school, where compared to the district that would be at about 60% and the state at 42%. And then, our Chinese proficiency exams too let us know how our students are doing. And last year, with our first year of 8th graders, when they tested, they were able to achieve that advanced low, and some are intermediate high. So it gives you an idea on the actual scale how our students are doing. I wanted to tell you about one more component of our program, which is really important, and that is Wisdom Seekers. Wisdom Seekers is our own brand of PBIS, or Positive Behavior Intervention Systems. And this is so important because we believe we are educating the whole child, not just academically, but we include the social, emotional, physical. And it is important that we have our standards for learning and behavior and how we treat each other. So they are kind and respectful, be safe, and be responsible. It's so important for our students to learn that. So I want to just thank you for coming today and showing an interest in our school. I'm so sorry we could not do this in person as we normally would, but I hope this video is helpful to you to get a picture of what our building at least is like. And but to really know us, you have to get to know the people, the students and the teachers, and it's quite a wonderful place. So thank you again. You can find more information about our school. Continue to look for that on our website. We also have an FAQ about our school on that website in case you have other questions. Take care.